But needless to say, about half hour later, I was ended up being on a different floor.
Well, the thing
was there sound? Awesome.
Yeah, the thing I want to encourage you about is talking to women, like you said, may be very easy for you. But why do you think that is?
I don't know. I really don't know why.
For me, personally, it is one of those situations that guys intimidate me. Granted, I'm 6'7", 260 something at times, sometimes 270, depends on how somebody's cooking. But guys intimidate me, and you wouldn't think it. You're just like me. You've got that internal, sarcastic, smart aleck attitude. You're stubborn as a bull.
Nah, I refuse to believe that one.
But your heart, you wear your heart on your sleeve.
That's got me in trouble. And
I don't think there's anybody in this room that doesn't wear their heart on their sleeve and hasn't gotten burnt by it. And granted, that's part of where, this is where this verse to me comes in a little bit, is just because we're Christians doesn't mean every once in a while the poop ain't going to hit the fan.
No.
But what it does mean is if our comfort zone is if we're so, excuse the phrase, anal about our comfort zone and what we like, what we don't like, what we'll do, what we don't do, to me that is closing out a lot of possibilities that God might have us reaching out to. I wouldn't be the person I am today if I hadn't spent 90 days in jail. I sure as hell wouldn't be married to my wonderful wife. Again, excuse the language. You can delete that, right?
Maybe.
No, she'll use that blackmail. But we know where you're coming from.
I just, the comfort zone I see here is sometimes even when you don't do anything wrong, you get caught in the crossfire. For me, one of my biggest personal hang-ups is, like you said, Dad, when somebody keeps asking you what's wrong, and you have no flipping clue what's wrong, you just know something don't feel right. One of my big hang-ups is trying to act like there's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for me, I married somebody that can see right through it.
I know she can. She does that too. When we were asking, yesterday and everything, I told him that I ended up crying quite a bit and everything. I really didn't know what was up.
Mm-hmm.
But what was hurting me more is you kept asking, and it frustrated me to know. Get out. That's why I probably started crying. And I'm tearing up now again, so get that thing off.
Comfort zone.
Well, one of the things that I'm going to recommend is, and this is something that Annie and we still struggle with, is we got to the point where we have a safe word.
Do you guys have
where that? If Dad, as an example, yesterday when Mom was, what's wrong, all you'd have to do is say one word, and Mom would take that as a clue of, okay, I need to leave it alone for a while.
You guys have that?
And the problem is sometimes when our relationship is we don't respect it at times. So, and it's not, sometimes it just don't work. Somebody says the safe word and the other person's going, oh heck no, that ain't going to happen today. But back on to comfort zones. I think we're done with Job 2, verses 10 and 11. Isaiah 40. Verses 1 and 2. I like this one.
Considering the top of, right above the start of the book, chapter, the top of the chapter, it says comfort for God's people. Okay. Isaiah 40 verses 1 and 2. Comfort, comfort my people, says our God. Speak tenderly to Jerusalem. Tell her that her sad days are gone and her sins are pardoned. Yes, the Lord has punished her twice over for all her sins.
And what do you think that means?
Comfort my people. I have no clue, my love.
Any interpretations? Anybody got a hunch about this?
It's actually saying, it's telling God, it says to God, comfort my people. Speak tenderly to Jerusalem. And at the time when everything was looking like this, and proclaim to her that her hard service has been completed. At this time it was looking like the Israelites had been in the desert, and they're coming out of that point. So the hard troubles, then they had their hardships. The leaders of the country need to talk to them, and not to bully them type thing into, you need to do this, you need to do that. They know what some of the hardships were. And they need just to become, have the people comfort and let them come out with what they think they need to.
I have to agree with you there. Let me do a rough interpretation of this, and any pastors that watch this, forgive me, but I may be way off. Imagine if you are a brand new Christian. We'll go to chapter 2. Speak, comfort, comfort, comfort my people, says your God, is chapter 1. Speak tenderly to me. Tell me that my sad days are gone and that my sins are pardoned. Yes, the Lord has punished me twice over for all my sins.
So I've been pretty bad, and God got me good.
But you know what? My sins are now pardoned.
Right.
So how does that fit in with comfort?
Knowing that we are
Forgiven?
Well, it's comfortable to know that the Lord's got us.
Dad, you look like you want to say something.
So like I said, where it's it says, that she has received, we have received from the Lord's hand double for their sins. It's showing, to me that, the comfort is in knowing that God has forgiven me, forgiven Jerusalem. Oh, and for double what, the forgiveness is double of what they've done.
Right.
And that says, if they take it the right way, the comfort will be there, and they'll be able to enjoy in that comfort. And they are able, out of comfort zones. This one, to me, does not really apply in a comfort zone situation. It's just, it can be in a comfort zone because they've had so much hardship.
Is you're right. To me, when I read this for the first time, I didn't think that this was a verse that would necessarily you could tie into having issues with your comfort zone. But I didn't want to tie this into comfort, because sometimes certain circumstances just make people uncomfortable.
Yeah, I know that one.
And my take on this is, you know what? Why would I have to be uncomfortable about anything? I know when I die where I'm going. I'm going to probably one of the biggest parties in the sky.